Hello trader, welcome back to another daily analysis on XAUUSD and GBPJPY. Both of these instruments currently moving, and we can see that the market is trending on both of these. And also in couple of hours coming up, GBP and followed by dollar news also will contribute to the higher volatility in both of these instruments. So before we look at the lower time frame for potential entry, first let's start with the monthly. Looking at XAUUSD monthly chart, now we can see that from the monthly, the price almost touched that monthly support that we have seen, but it couldn't break this low. From here, we see that another rejection to the upside. Now we are almost nearly to the end of the month. The question is this market is going to go back again to the monthly high, or it's just a pullback and could reject back again? So let's see the lower time frame, what kind of price action it is forming to see. In fact, now this is the weekly price, and here I was expecting to break this weekly low, but the market from this support, because it's a very high liquidity zone, whenever it's coming the buyers buying this market, so which is a sign that long term the market still could remain bullish. Now at the same time, we are almost nearly to the end of the week. We can see that from here there is a weekly rejection, and it's also approaching weekly resistance line. Here is the weekly resistance where the market open in that area. So there are two probable scenario is for this market to go ahead and hit that weekly resistance before the weekly close, and then to drop again to the support level. And in that case, we might see that break of this monthly low. The other probable scenario is to remain as a doji or a bull candle, and the next one to bounce back up, which will be a new monthly candle. But I think that the price may potentially reject again, as it is approaching a weekly resistance, and this is already it has already created a long week in that direction. So we could see that the market to come again feel that long week from the weekly time frame. So at the moment, as lower time frame, we see bounce, so this is currently locally bullish, and we might see the lower time frame bullish trend for this move to the upside. Now if we look at the daily chart here to see a clearer picture, now this is the daily support where from here there was a sharp bounce. This is the starting of this daily move to the upside, and the market has dropped almost to that daily support level. Now this current move on the daily, that you can see a probability to go back here is higher. The reason, if you guys look at, you can see this is the daily drop here, the red candle, and that one is a larger bully bearish candle. And when we see that a bigger ATR, which is what I think it's almost nearly to 1.5 ATR bear candle to this key level of support, so the market may try to reject back again above this daily candlestick pattern. So that means on the lower time frame we might see still going back up, which is also the weekly resistance line that we are talking about. Therefore, if we look at the 4 hour chart here, we can see that there is a this is the intraday drop to that key level of support. Now in the 4 hour time frame, if we look at the past move here, we can see this is a narrow red candle in this bigger move, which is contributing to become a very high liquidity zone. And there was also the weekly open here and monthly that we have seen, and the price is respecting that level, creating series of higher lows. So if you look at here, it formed a series of higher low, and also here series of higher low. So it's maintaining that higher low. That means this level is quite significant. The buyers is buying from that level. Therefore the price may could potentially push back up here to any of this key level of resistance line before drop, or potentially continue to back again to the major direction. So for potential entry, that if we look at take a 15-minute chart to see possible entry here, we can see that there is an uptrend, and currently it's in a sharp uptrending market structure, and we'll be waiting to see a deeper pullback. Here we can see that there is a consolidation and a neckline formation of this inverted head and shoulder on this lower time frame, and the market managed to break. Now our watch list here is to look for the market to have a possible retest, drop and retest. And if we see the market drop, retested and getting a stronger rejection, we can look for bullish opportunity from this zone on XAUUSD. If the market remain very strongly uptrend and keep pushing up here along the way, once we see stronger pullback and then liquidity grab, we might be able to find entry depending on the price action confirmation. Now let's look at on GBPJPY to see what's happening on this instrument. Now GJ, what I was looking at, that this market is also in a bull market. Now it's on a pullback. So in a bull market, pullback is where the better opportunity to trade. Now again, looking at the bigger picture to see monthly price on GBPJPY, we can see that this is the monthly candle that opened here with a bigger momentum. The price currently above this monthly resistance line, which is pretty sharp bullish price action on the monthly, and it's still maintaining that bullish market structure. And I think the price may potentially continue to rise. So any pullback is where the potential for entry on GBPJPY. Now, if we look at the weekly chart here on JJ, we can see that from the weekly also maintaining this series of higher low on the weekly chart. And with that series of higher low, if you look at here, you can see there was a sharp bounce on the weekly followed by this pullback, another bounce pullback. The market is maintaining that series of higher high and higher low. Now here is the previous weekly high, so which is acting as a resistance turning to support here. Now if you look at the daily chart here on GBPJPY, we can see that from the daily time frame, here is the market is maintaining that series of higher low. There is a narrow daily red candle followed by previous day a bullish move. Now today the market, after cross of this high, it started to break below. We'll be waiting for that market on the daily for this price to come back here to this daily support level on GJ. Now looking at the intraday perspective from 4-hour chart here, we can see that this market also has formed an inverted head and shoulder here, a complete breakout with that inverted head and shoulder coming down here for a pullback. Now here we will be waiting for a drop, and what I think that especially this is the 4-hour time frame, we still have 1 hour 12 minutes for this candle to close. If this market dropping to that level with a one single move to this neckline, this is where we might find a potential entry, especially aligning with this daily trend line that we can see. And this is the daily support level where we will be waiting for a possible entry. As soon as we see suitable entry on GBPJPY, we will be looking to enter after price action confirmation for this potential move to the upside with a high probability trade setup. Traders, so if you enjoyed this education and analysis, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Thank you, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.